newer players. And someone who's played a lot of rugby with these girls, Rosie Fong, joins me in the commentary box. Looking forward to this one, Rosie.
Very much so. Gutted I'll be missing the Hong Kong-Japan match later.
You've got to take off to training.
Yeah, National 15s training.
That's the life of a professional. Semi-professional. Doing some commentary in the morning, some training in the afternoon. And here we go as Aggie Poon gets us underway with a deepish kick that has been fumbled on the fly by Sim Chu Hong. And that doesn't matter because they've got the ball. They're coming out with it. Good tackle there coming across. Ivy Kwong there standing tall and tackle. But this is already a good start from Singapore. This is more position than they had against Japan at all. And that's unfortunate as Annabelle Wu took that in. Shan gives it into the lurking Aggie Poon, who times her run beautifully to no one's going to stop Aggie Poon in that situation. And there's the opening try to Hong Kong, 5-0.
Great quick tap from Sam Wai Sham. Popping off to Aggie Poon for an offload. Great play. Hong Kong will be looking to keep their composure in this match and reduce their errors, focus on their own game, which they clearly are.
Aggie Poon has drilled the conversion for her own try. So Aggie Poon 7, Singapore 0. Interesting to see change in starting formation here. Garvey and Shotsfold not taking the field. Fake to go right to Olsen Thorne, but come back to the left, and that's taken well from Sim. Gives it up to the block-busting runner Annabelle Wu, but she gets dispossessed of the ball a little bit too easy. Poon decides to straighten things up a little bit, and she had to hold on to that as the supporting players came in a little bit late. So good defence from Singapore, and Aggie Poon's clutching at her head. She went in hard to that collision there.
She's all right. She'll shake it off.
Okay, so Singapore with some ball. Running in the road of each other. Third carry for Annabelle Wu. She's getting herself involved. Didn't see her in their opening game. Eunice Chu fumbling there. Goes back to get it and puts herself under a bit of pressure.
Great job, Melody Lee, slowing that ruck down, getting her hands on the ball, not letting Singapore move it.
It's a sham. It hasn't worked out for Hong Kong. Going in around the shoulders is Candy Cheng. Arms out, a little bit high tackle or from the side, the referee saying from the side. Eunice Chu. That's good, straight, hard running. Good hands from Alvinia Aoyong, just catching that between her knees, manages to hold on. That's good aggression from Singapore. Aggie Poon's gone in there, she's hard, she's strong over the ball. She taps it quickly and goes. Goes Olsen Thorne, a classic run from her. Melody Lee picks it up and drags it forward to the 22. Olsen Thorne gets in over the top, secures it, looks to get the legs going again. Cheng secures. Poon standing by, waiting. And just going in off their feet with her. Straight down.
Singapore doing a good job of staying out of the breakdown. Hong Kong's trying to rush in, protecting it, but actually Singapore are standing off and letting them have it, just focusing on the defensive shape so that they can rush up.
Good D, Singapore. And the chant goes out for the local girls Good from Singapore, and they come blitzing down the right-hand flank. Lai goes into some heavy contact. Maybe Kwong there made a nice collision.
That was a really well-worked overlap from Singapore. A runner coming in hard, drawing in the outside defender, leaving a nice wide overlap behind her.
Good scrum from Singapore, and Chu manages to get it away. This is good hard running from number 1, Chan Jiayu. 2 or 3 purposeful runs. Annabelle Wu's also been heavily involved in this first half. Here goes Chan again. This is good continuity. Over the top, Melody Lee gets in over there strong and wins the penalty for her side. Skipper Christy Cheng says, kick this down the lines, let's have a little breather.
Hong Kong are a lot more aggressive than their last match. They're trying to get into every breakdown and slow it down.
Poon peels off about 10 or 12 metres. Ivy Kwong looks like she's got a contact lens issue maybe, or something to the eye. So the clock is off. Adrian Garvey has come on. Sham gets it in to the levitating Sham. Here goes Aggie Poon. Can she get a little bit of space on the outside? No. Olsen Thorne to Garvey. Sham's here. She straightens. She's got a skipper on the outside, but Garvey goes into secure, but it's been knocked on and it breaks down there. It's just 7-0 with only half a minute remaining. Got to say, a much better effort from Singapore, thwarting Hong Kong thus far, not having their way.
They're covering their tackles very well. Even when Hong Kong went all the way to one side and then back the other way.
Eunice Chu forgets the ball and a little knock on. That's a shame. But perhaps a final chance for Hong Kong as the hooter goes for this first half to try and finish it on a bit of joy. See the GPS in the back of the shirt there of Sham as she puts the ball in. This is Cheng. There's Natasha Olsen-Thorne rolling, turning, twisting. Adrian Garvey, Christy Cheng gets one of her ankles and doesn't go forward. It says it went backwards. Cheng gets up to support. Puts in a couple of hard yards sideways and loses it forward. And it's a penalty to Singapore. So good D again from Singapore. Hong Kong unable to pierce the line. And that's a scruffy old kick for touch, but it makes it in the end. And good competitive half of rugby there. Just 7-0. And the much fancied Hong Kong struggling a little bit to put anyone in the clear and put that down to Singapore's defence and a bit more constructiveness on attack.
Singapore will be looking to retain their possession in the next half. They haven't had much of it. Hong Kong have been on the attack and managed to steal the ball after 1 or 2 phases whenever the Singaporeans have it. It's good aggressive defence.
See coach Wang Xiaoyin in the huddle with Singapore, or Wing as she's called. Just back from the Rio Olympics, where she had a judiciary role for the Sevens rugby. She's a lawyer, a rugby coach. She's been to the Olympics. Here she is with her team in Hong Kong. Good to see Singapore here. They missed one tournament last year. They're struggling for funding occasionally. And then they came in to replace Kazakhstan for the Asia Rugby Championship, and then had to pull out, but managed to host the friendly against Singapore in the end. So it was just a two-team affair. Big shout out to my main man in Singapore, Inoki Afiaki, Director of Rugby. Sadly could not make the trip with his teams, but just between you and me, Knox, we hope to see you in Seoul, maybe in Colombo, to talk tactics. Here come Hong Kong, surging forward, Cindy Ewan, and with just 7-point advantage on the board. Cindy Cheng with the ball now. Christy Cheng is going to be asking a lot of her players to dig deep, put the Singapore team away if they can as early as possible. Good jinking run from Aggie Poon. Gets held up from Alvinia Ao Yong. Loses it forward eventually, so more stiff defence from Singapore. And that's been the hallmark of this performance. They've earned themselves a penalty, and big smiles as they get up there, loving their defensive effort.
Unfortunately, Natasha Olsen-Thorne not releasing the player there, giving the Singaporeans an opportunity to attack.
Eunice Chu gets in there, and Cindy Cheng just getting her feet all over the Candy Cheng, getting her feet all in the way and making a nuisance of herself. Gives up a penalty. The enthusiastic element of the crowd has put up a chant, trying to lift their players. Stuck in a little bit of a rut at the moment against Singapore. It's a dogfight at the moment. Both teams defending their hearts out. Knocked back by Vivian Ng. Garvey's got it. Looping round comes Cindy Ewan. She's going to have a crack now, taking on Lai, and Lai pulls her down, and Singapore get two behind the ball. That's good defence from Garvey, who was on hand to secure that bobbling ball, and now they come to the right. Callers to the left, and Cindy Ewan's got it, and she sees Adrian Garvey, and it drops down at her feet, and she's not a miracle worker.
Unlucky. Hong Kong had great forward momentum there from a positive tackle by Natasha Olsen-Thorne, from good pressure, and the Singaporeans fumbled that. However, Hong Kong have just lost their opportunity there.
Some bench action going on. Skipper Christy Cheng's headed off, and back from a blood bin. So Garvey, there's a bit of confusion here. Who should go and who should stay?
Looks like a bit of a black eye coming there for her tomorrow. Oh, and they've made that replacement.
Okay, so that's a permanent replacement, as Ivy Kwong had her head wrapped up, but too late. Adrian Garvey will stay on. Again, that's really tenacious work by Singapore there, just making everything difficult right now, giving up a penalty. They won't mind that. And Carman. Cindy Ewan and Garvey again just can't quite take that, and here comes Chan. Aggie Poon's gone back. done the right thing, gone down on it, but she's lost it forward. And look at this. Here comes Singapore. Here goes Lai Poisson. She's taken on Natasha Olsen-Thorne, who gets her around the hips and heaves her towards the sideline. And she picks up the ball and comes away with it. Classic stuff from Olsen-Thorne. And here goes Poon, open play. She's a specialist in this sort of area, but that was loose. Here goes Nam Karman, Tigers Club, and she gets brought down by Eunice Chu. It's all over the place at the moment. Just 3 minutes left in this game. It's a tight one. Poon gets bopped down to the ground by Wu there. Puts the big hip into it. That's a good line from Chan. She's been impressive in this game for Singapore. Wu again. She had several good runs in this game, setting the platform for her players. This is Sim, takes it to the 22. Poon's working hard on defence. She looks tired though. Some hammies are knowing to go as the game wears on. If they can score here, it would be incredible, but they can't. Nam Karman going from side to side, working hard herself to get something going for Hong Kong. There's nothing really opened up for them so far this half. Poon's the kind of player who needs just a couple of inches and she'll be away, but she's not getting that. She's down again on the floor. She's designed for sprints, not for marathons.
Both teams will be knackered after that long run of phases.
Coming all the way back to the 10-metre mark. And a penalty for Hong Kong. Not sure why. I think the assistant referee spotted something. Aggie Poon is off with a just tired by the looks of it, just oxygen exhaustion. Wrap her up for the game against Japan later on. And now these players here left with about 3.5 minutes. Our clock on TV says 1 minute remaining, but there's more than that as Chosford works her way up to the halfway line. Garvey over the top. More defence from Singapore coming in as both teams working really hard to make some sort of break here.
Unfortunately, just coming in from the side there. Singaporeans really asking questions of Hong Kong.
The scoreboard clock in the stadium says 3 minutes remaining. This is Sim. They'd be delighted if they could pull something out of the board here. In fact, the clock on our TV is correct. The clock in the stadium is incorrect. So Hong Kong just trying desperately to hold on to the 7-point lead. Singapore have looked threatening in the second half. Did it go forward? Yes, it did. And so that brings to an end this exciting match between the city-states of Hong Kong and Singapore. And a much improved performance from Singapore, and maybe a few more questions than answers for Hong Kong. But a win's a win, so 7-0 as these teams go marching forward. That was the final match in the women's round for this third batch of games. Game 12's finished. Exciting yet low-scoring game. What do you think Hong Kong needs to work on after that match, Rosie?
Like I said at the beginning, just reduce their own errors. They really pushed up hard, but unfortunately couldn't string a few more phases together and retain the ball. They need to work on their depth.
Sure, Anna Richards will be getting stuck into them. Nothing to panic about.
Singapore did really well in pressuring them, though. they certainly improved from their last match.
Indeed they did. Big respect to them. So we switch back to the men's side of the draw.